Hello, and welcome back to another trade recap. This trade recap is slightly unique because I literally watched up the trade, and this was my first trade of the morning. So it only shows how when you are nervous, you are not mentally uh, in sync with the charts. How can you really miss out on good opportunities, or for the matter, screw up, uh, a good setup, basically in this case. So here is here is UB, uh, UB on a 1 minute chart, which is the main chart for me from an entry perspective. A tick chart, which is 100 ticks, a 5 minute, and a 15-minute chart. You can see here, and UB setup is, and I have an addition of the setup entry criteria beyond just uh, the moves on the waves here. So I also add what we call the bond force indicator for UB entries. And when I started looking at UB, unfortunately, I started looking at UB when this was happening, which means that the two UBZN tickers had crossed the zero line and then had just started crossing back up, which basically is nothing but crossing the pre-market open line down and then crossing back up. Now, whenever this happens or this zero line cross happens on UB, this is my most lucrative opportunity. Now, and this is where I screwed up. So, my most favorite trade is where I screwed up the first thing in the morning. And why did I screw up? I think that's the main reason for the trade, but for this recap. But I think it's also important to just play back what should have been the ideal way to approach this trade. So, if you notice here, when we got this break, i.e., this break up of the zero line and the pre-market line, the idea has to be that I need to wait for a double one, and the entry should be on the double one on the 200 because it's a double one. But also, I need to be mindful that price will bounce off this line, the 200. The pre-market open line. So I can enter one contract here, and then I need to basically enter the other contract right at the bottom. Whether it takes the bottom entry or not is a different story, but I need to be mindful that here is a possibility of the price coming down before it goes up. But uh, here is what I ended up doing. Right, I actually ended up, because I saw this break without even looking at my indicator here. Just because I saw this break, I knew this was a good trade. And then, if you notice here, it actually did a move up before it went down, and then it consolidated here, and then finally move up. Right, I entered one contract here, and then I entered one contract here. So instead of entering optimally on the 200 and below, I ended up entering in two bad positions, or not optimal positions, should I say. Let me rephrase it. They were not bad, but they were not the best. So an entry here and an entry here instead of an entry here and an entry here. And on UB, the entry is even more important because each UB contract is worth $31.5 ish, right? So every single tick down is a negative 31 or $32. So on two contracts, every tick down is negative $62. That's even worse. And what I did was I got scared when I should have been confident, because you can notice that these two lines remained above the zero line. Uh, I basically also had a 15-minute, wave that was really good. It was just the re-entry that was needed. At the same time, I basically could have waited for the double five here, right, and then a double one here, and it would have been an amazing trade, right? But I literally got completely scared here because it just went doing all of this, which is it should. Why should it not? Right? It should consolidate and then break out. But yeah, I kind of got scared here. And then even if I look at the larger picture here, so I mean, this is the other thing which I saw. I mean, I literally told myself that this is a move up. Why? Because if you look at what happened since yesterday, after UB broke down and recovered, so this line is basically the FOMC high, and this line is the FOMC low. So all UB was trying to do was, when it failed to go anywhere below this, was to now start breaking up this line. So it had attempted to break the FOMC high before I woke up. It went down for a corrective move, or what I call a V, and then the next phase would have been a V up. But knowing all of this, right? Knowing all of this, and again, look at where the exit was. I mean, I was entering here, which was around 24, 25-ish, and then the trade was at least 6 ticks, which was amazing. This would have given me over $300 or $400 right on this trade. But I chickened out. I got out for a loss of $31, which is fine. But just the fact that I could not capitalize on my best trade, and in fact got nervous because my entries are not optimal, says a lot about the mental preparation and how sometimes uh, a not so optimal entry doesn't help you mentally to stay in a good trade. Yeah, so that's the trade recap for UB. I mean, the pattern would have been literally. I mean, the pattern would actually have been this. It would have been single 15, double 5, and a double 1. Double 1 entry, enter here. If that would have been the best option. That would have been really the best option. Since it's double, enter on the 200 and then 4 ticks up for a 4 tick stop loss. And then obviously move the ticks stop loss up to break even and then take your money and get out. But that didn't happen. So yeah, that's the trade for the day on UB. Unfortunate, but that's life. Hope that I can retain my learning, and hope someone else will learn from what I've done as well. Thank you.